On today's show, we are interviewing Esther Fedorkevich, who's the founder of the Fed Literary Agency. Over the years, the Fed Agency has represented such best-selling authors as Pastor Jensen Franklin, Mark Batterson, Tim Tebow, Jackie Velasquez, Justin Bieber's mom, Pastor Steven Furtick, and countless best-selling authors that you know. And on today's show, Esther joins us to talk about the importance of fearless cold calling and how she helps her big-time clients take their big ideas and turn them into best-selling books.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Thrive Time Show.
3, 2, 1, here we go!
Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here.
Yes, and yes. It's normally ecstasy when Zia's next to me, but Josh, you're a good plan B.
Whoa.
No, I'm serious. You are a plan B.
Like a plan C?
Aaron's always been my plan C.
Ooh.
If my marriage doesn't work out, I turn to Josh. And if Josh says, we've talked about this, I turn to Aaron.
Yeah. And I've got an open door for you.
Thank you
Whoa.
so much. Whoa, Shunda. Whoa. And on today's show, inside the studio, we happen to have one of the top literary agents on the planet. Esther, welcome on to the Thrive Time Show. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Can you share with the listeners where you are from? Where do you call home?
I'm from Austin, Texas.
And what do you do for a living? How do you procure your income?
I own a literary and entertainment agency. I represent authors on their books.
So how long have you been doing this?
17 years.
And I'm gonna pull up some books here. I'm gonna show the cover of the book to the cameras, and you tell me if you had anything to do with this book here. Okay. So this book here, it's a book by Tim Tebow called "This Is the Day." Did you have anything to do with this book?
Yes, it's amazing.
What is your role in a book like this? When a book, we go to the bookstore, we buy it. What is your role in getting this book from the mind of Tim Tebow into the hands of the buyers?
So first, Timmy and I and a big team, we talk about a bunch of ideas and see what he wants to write about, and we pick out the best idea, and then we shop it to publishers and get him the best deal possible.
I feel like
That's what we're going to do for you, Clay.
Thank you so much. I'm excited about
You
this.
take it to a lot of publishers, and then you see who wants you the most.
Is he as nice? 'Cause my wife and I think he's the nicest man ever, and we've met a few people that know of him or have been with him. They all say he's nicer than you think, and we already think he's super nice. How would you describe the character or the personality of Mr. Timmy Tebow, as you call him?
He's the real deal. I mean, he really lives and walks the walk. He loves Jesus, is an amazing athlete, and just amazing person. I think there are so many moms that want to raise a son just like him. And he just has character, and it's hard to find that anymore. And for an athlete to have that kind of character, it's impressive.
So how do you work with an athlete like this? Do you cold call them? Do they call you? I mean, now you have so many big authors you represent, but when you were first getting started, how did you land your first big author?
Cold calling and reading a lot of articles and finding out ideas. And then we would say, that's a good book idea. We study the New York Times bestseller list.
Yeah.
So we're seeing what people are buying and why they're buying it. And then we try to find people to fit that.
So you study the New York Times bestsellers list. And then you were sharing with the team this morning that I think Tim McGraw was one of your first big authors.
Yes, we did a book from a movie called Flicka. He had a song in it called My Little Girl, and we did a children's book series called My Little Girl.
When you're around some of these people, initially, I know you're kind of probably numb to it now, but the first time when you're around Tim McGraw or some of these big names, were you nervous at all?
No.
Really?
Never nervous.
What, are you missing your amygdala? What is wrong?
No, I just look at them like they're regular people, just like me.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't bother you at all?
Nope.
That is amazing. So you again, and how did someone like yourself make money doing this? And then what all do you do? I mean, what all are you? Do you help edit the books? Do you help lay the books out?
I am the salesperson in marketing, branding, but I have a great team that are amazing editors that will work with the authors on actually their grammar and copy editing and making sure their T's are crossed and their I's are dotted and they sound great. We also have a team of ghostwriters that write books with our authors, and I mean, it takes a lot of people to put a book together.
What do you love about being a book agent, a literary agent?
Always been my favorite thing is seeing that book from the beginning process when we're talking and finally seeing in, the airport or in a bookstore. It's super exciting. I was just on a plane coming here and somebody was reading one of my author's books,
cool.
a Mark Batterson Circle Maker book. And I just started a conversation. I'm like, hey, what do you like about the book? What chapter are you on? I read that book, and it's just pretty amazing when you see your book in hands of people.
In this book here, The Circle Maker by Mark Batterson, this is the book you're referencing here?
Mm-hmm.
And someone was reading this on the plane?
Yeah.
Did that make you nervous?
No.
Does flying make you nervous?
No.
Do you feel or know what the word nervous means overall? I mean,
Yeah, I'm not a very nervous person.
Now, I understand that you are an absolute Viking woman when it comes to cold calling. That you'll just pick up the phone and call anybody. There's something to learn out there for the listeners. What would you say to a listener out there they know they need to make calls and they're a little bit afraid of it? Because Aaron Antis is going to ask you questions about being an agent, and Josh is too. These are Christian guys. They probably own the books that you're putting out there. What would you say to someone who's afraid of making cold calls?
What's the worst they could do? Say no? I honestly, so what, right? They say no, you just pick up the phone again and you call. I believe that I can get to any single person. I don't think that you could tell me any name and give me a couple weeks and I bet I could get a call to them.
I just love that attitude. Aaron Antis, you run Oklahoma's largest home building company. You and I have worked together, and it's so fun to see the company grow now to $81 million of annual revenue from 24. We're on pace to do 120-ish this year, maybe more than that.
Even more than that.
Even more than that. One question as we do rapid fire, final 90 seconds. What question would you have here for one of America's top literary agents?
So if I was going to write a book today, what would be the best path for me to take if I just wanted to get it out there and I had an awesome message that I wanted to share with people? What would be the path I would take? Because I do believe I have a story I'd love to tell, but I don't know if people want to hear it. So what's that path look like?
Well, great question. I believe everyone has a story. Now, everyone has a story to tell. I wish that I got my grandfather's story before he died of how he came to this country. We're first generation born here. My grandfather was from Russia. And I'm like, why didn't I get that story down? And I'm a literary agent. I mean, just for the sake of my kids and grandkids to know that story. So first thing to do is go to thefedagency.com. And you can go into submissions and set, or me now, so you could just talk to me. But we have a whole publishing program that is called Agent Managed Publishing.
Got it.
And we help people get their books out, and it's out in 6 months.
Oh, wow.
And so I think of a book as like a $5 business card. We just did a book for a big builder out of Phoenix, Arizona, and it was amazing. He uses it as just to get more big, clients and homes. And it's
which
just
is what I
his
think
story.
you should do for real.
And I really
do
think you should do that. And if it takes off, then we're able to then go sell it to a publisher.
Well, I've been telling my wife I'm a really big deal for a lot of years, so this way I can really confirm that for her. So, that would be my main reason is just to stay married.
We have 60 seconds left for our final questions here. This book here, Acres of Diamonds, this is another book that our guest here today has also represented. And people want to know, they're looking you up right now, how do you pronounce your last name? What's the proper pronunciation of your last name? Because you go by the Fed agency, making it easy for us.
Yes.
What's the real pronunciation of your last name?
Fedorkevich.
Fedorkevich?
Yep.
Esther Fedorkevich. Esther Fedorkevich. Okay, so what is your final question here, Josh, with Living Water Irrigations for Esther Fedorkevich?
So I know you say you don't get nervous. Did you get nervous when you met Clay?
Nope.
She just booed me. She booed me. She was underwhelmed.
He's super fun, though, and his whole office is, so energetic, and they're like, boom, this and boom, that. I mean, how can you not like him?
So real quick, so we were talking off the air. You were saying whenever you got started, you were doing the 80 to 100 hours a week. So can you encourage maybe that young mother out there that's listening or one of those listeners out there that's like, that's not ethical. Can you talk about what it took to get to where you're at and where you're at now?
It takes a lot of hustle. I mean, I think if you really want something and you really believe in yourself, you have to hustle. I feel like so many people quit before their miracle. I mean, I can tell you, they quit, or they want to do something, but they don't follow through. I mean, if you really want something, I was up early in the morning, waited while my kids were still sleeping, and then when they were at school, I called myself an empty nester because I could work from 7 a.m. to 3 while they were in school all day. And while they were napping, I would be doing phone calls. While they went to bed at 7 or 8 at night, I was working till 1 in the morning. I mean, I was living off of little sleep, but I believed in what I was doing. And I think so many people they think there's this easy road that they're going to get rich quick and somehow do it in a 4-hour work week. Come on. It's like, it's not going to happen. Every business, everybody that I know that's been really successful has put in the effort.
I appreciate you so much for being here that I don't want you to miss your plane. So we're going to head off now. But again, thank you so much. And we'll end the show with a boom. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, boom. Shunda.
If you don't understand you're the one, you won't understand why you're being attacked like you're being attacked. Whenever the enemy knows that the one is coming, he always sets traps to stop them from succeeding because they're the one. And to him whom much is given, much is required. And so the text starts out talking about Abraham because Abraham is the one. And Abraham had to move out from his country and away from his kindred because he was the one. So he was a misfit because he was the one. So he didn't get to stay because he was the one. So he had to live in isolation because he was the one. So he probably was lonely because he was the one. Because he was the one. Because he was the one.
New city, new state, it's gonna be a mean race. All the sins that I have done, I'm grateful for a clean slate. Felt like I was different, I ain't never try to prove it though. Stack your chips, get on your grind, don't never make excuses, bro. Solid as a rock, loyalty is all I ever know. Doing what you've always done, then homie, you can never grow. Conversations with the Lord, I ask him would I ever blow. Told me I got dead weight, so friends, I gotta let them go. We gon' make it. I know they hating, it's all on their faces. We destined for greatness. I said, I've been patient. I know it's my moment, no stopping, we going, this thing is in motion. What you gon' do when your back's against the wall? You gon' stand up like a champ or you gon' curl up in the ball? I'm the one, I've been chosen, so I'm riding through it all. Gotta keep your faith up so you can rise and never fall. Let's go.
And Abraham had to move out from his country and away from his kindred because he was the one. So he didn't get to stay with his kinfolks because he was the one. They are always on the hit list because hell knows that he is the one. I want to talk to some people that have been up under crazy attack. And to him whom much is given, much is required.
The devil's been attacking, I ain't stressing from it. Cause every time that happens, there's a blessing coming. Obsessing over problems that you can't change. I had you going crazy, learn your lesson from it. Remember when they cut my water off, homie? Man, reflecting how they cut my lights off too. Dog, I had to move back in with my mama. Had me feeling like a failure, that's what life would do. Gotta get up on your grind, I had to make the right move. Ramen noodles every night, I had some beans and rice too. Execution is the key, don't tell me what you might do. Favor from the man above, no other God is like you. You can knock me down, but I promise I ain't staying there. Feeling like I am the one, we just begun, let's make it clear. Me and Clay clicking up, y'all don't even get it, bruh. About to be colossal, taking over when we rip it up, hey.
And Abraham had to move out from his country and away from his kindred because he was the one. So he didn't get to stay with his kinfolks because he was the one. They are always on the hit list because hell knows that he is the one. I want to talk to some people that have been up under crazy attack. And to him whom much is given, much is required.
Yeah, started from the bottom, now I'm here. Overnight success after 23 years. Got the dragon energy, got another gear. Got a superpower, man, I call persevere. Cause I never haven't thought people call fear. I never stopped grinding when the future's not clear. We're gonna be dead soon and I'm just being real. So I'll be paralyzed by the thoughts that we feel.
So you'll stop begging for people to come into agreement with you. So you'll stop doing polls and census and trying to get everybody to come into consensus with your vision so that you won't need nobody to say amen when you preach because you already know that you got heaven saying amen. The power of one.
Listen to the entire T.D. Jakes sermon, Grasping the Moment, by visiting T.D. Jakes' YouTube channel, simply named T.D. Jakes.
Shonda, you're getting ready to flow.